My husband had been in the hospital for 2 days with sudden organ failure. The first 2 days he was only lucid for a little while. I had to come him down when the nurses strapped him to the bed because he had to pee and kept trying to take the catheter out. I'll never forget how his eyes were wild. He was thrashing so much and begging me to take the straps off. I stroked his hair and kept calling him baby, telling him it would be okay and he just had to relax. Finally he did, but once he laid back and used the catheter, the nurses said I had to leave the room again. They had to intubate pretty soon after that. He was unconscious the rest of the time we were there, but every now and then he would squeeze my hand and raise his eyebrows. I was by his side constantly once they got him out of the ICU and into a room. I kept telling him to try, that he was strong and he could do it. He opened his eyes a few times just for a second, and I could see him in there. He was still there. The third day, I woke up from the chair in the corner of the hospital room and went back to his side. I knew then my husband was gone. His beautiful blue eyes were open just a little bit, but it was involuntary. They were yellowed and funny and blank. My husband wasn't there anymore. Around 10:30 a.m., the doctor told me there was nothing else they could do, but he could stay on life support as long as I wanted. I said I wanted him to go peacefully if there really wasn't anything they could do. He warned me that it could take a while once they took out the tube. They removed his breathing tube and I kissed him. His lips were bloodied and chapped, but I didn't care. His chest rose and fell so slowly. I stroked his hair and then he stopped. It took about 2 minutes. The doctor put his hand on my shoulder and told me he was gone. I put my head on my husband's chest, held his head in my hands, and cried harder and longer than I ever have in my life. I couldn't stop. Eventually I had nothing left in me and I just laid there on his chest. I kissed him again when I could move. I knew he wanted to be cremated, so I asked the nest if they could clip some of his hair for me. He was always so proud of his hair. They did. They were very kind. Then I went home to my empty house with a plastic bag of my husband's hair and an EKG printout of his last heartbeat. I got ridiculously drunk and kept expecting him to walk out of the bedroom. I fell on my way to the bathroom and busted my chin open on the floor. It was 4 days before Christmas.